Pennsylvania Judge Sonia McKnight charged after allegedly shooting ex-boyfriend in head as he slept. A Pennsylvania judge allegedly shot her ex-boyfriend in the head while he slept before she tried convincing him that he shot himself as he lay blinded in one eye. Magisterial District Judge Sonia McKnight, 57, was charged with first-degree attempted murder and aggravated assault charges Thursday for shooting Michael McCoy in his Harrisburg area home on February 9th, according to arrest records. Susquehanna Township Police wrote in the arrest affidavit that McCoy, 54, had tried numerous times to end his one-year relationship with this nut job of a judge, as well as trying to get her to move out of his home before she allegedly attempted to kill him. McCoy had returned home from a tavern to find McKnight relaxing on his couch in her pajamas, and again told her she needed to leave, saying he would enlist the help of her mother. I'm going to call your mama, to get her out of his home if he had to. She allegedly agreed to go, and this is where McCoy made his fatal mistake. He got her to agree to leave, but he didn't actually make her leave in the moment. You have to have the locks already changed, folks. Michael McCoy stated that it was like she finally understood the relationship was over. Following what seemed to be an understanding between the pair, McCoy went to bed at about 11 p.m. However, sometime later, he was awoken by a massive head pain and was blind. He panicked, screaming in pain and confusion, which alerted McKnight to come bolting into the bedroom. Mike, what did you do to yourself? Judge McKnight asked her estranged boyfriend. That's her, McKnight. McKnight called 911 shortly before 1 a.m. that Saturday to report McCoy's injury. Police shared that during the call, she could not explain what happened and stated that she was sleeping and heard him screaming. Emergency responders rushed McCoy to the hospital where they found a gunshot wound to his right temple that exited his left temple. She shot him clean through the head. Authorities say the extent of the damage left McCoy blind in his right eye. A gun registered to McKnight, shot with his own gun, was found. Oh no, McCoy is the guy. A gun registered to the judge was found at the scene, and she was found to have gunshot residue on her hand only an hour after the shooting. McCoy, the boyfriend, had told police at the scene he did not shoot himself, a statement he reiterated while in the hospital. Both McCoy and Judge McKnight said no one besides them was in the home during the shooting. Well, this is circumstantial evidence, right? McKnight had also told investigators that she did not leave the home on the night of the shooting, but that claim was quickly debunked after doorbell footage from a neighbor's home showed her leaving the house. There's always cameras, folks. You have to assume there are always cameras. And lying to the police, getting caught in that lie, consciousness of guilt evidence. The boyfriend told police he believed she had followed him to the tavern he was at Friday evening. Well, that's sensible stalking behavior. Judge McKnight has since been suspended from her duties as an elected judge. Well, that's good. She's currently locked up in the county prison, bail at $300,000. Her case is going to be transferred to a different county, so it's not the county where she's a judge. And here's the clincher, folks. If you stay to the end, it's worth it. This is not the first time she shot a love interest. In 2019, Judge McKnight shot her estranged husband, Enoch McKnight, in his groin after asking him to come to her home to help her move furniture. The couple married in 2014, but had filed for divorce 2 years later. However, the divorce was still pending at the time of the shooting, which was ruled to be self-defense, as the pair were in the midst of a domestic dispute. McKnight faces up to 40 years in prison if convicted of first-degree attempted murder, since she allegedly inflicted bodily harm on McCoy. Yeah, okay. This is a woman who shoots the men she's breaking up with. Anybody think that first case, in hindsight now, was self-defense? Or you think maybe she got the benefit of the doubt because she was a judge at the time? So when you get involved in the criminal justice system, this could be your judge. This nut job. Not the only judge like this out there, folks. In fact, famously, in the Bernie Getz trial, the subway shooting trial in New York City back in the 80s, the highest court in New York State, which would normally be called the Supreme Court of the state in most states. New York strangely calls their trial courts their Supreme Courts, and it calls their Supreme Court the Court of Appeals. The chief judge of the Court of Appeals, the highest judge in New York State, literally changed New York law so that Bernie Goetz could be prosecuted. He would later go on to be convicted of federal kidnapping charges in a love interest dispute and serve time in federal prison. Of course, he lost his judgeship. He was disbarred. And after he was released from federal prison on this kidnapping conviction, he may have pled to a lesser crime, federal prison. I'd have to refresh my recollection. But it was based on an underlying kidnapping charge. After he was released from federal prison, guess what he did? He became a law professor in New York State. No kidding. So a guy who would go on to face federal kidnapping charges was the chief justice of the state when Bernie Goetz was being prosecuted, who deliberately changed law so that prosecution would be possible. Don't feed yourself into the criminal justice system unless there's really no other path.